Every day, 7.5 billion hearts beat in unison. Everyone moves. It is like a tornado of feet and hands, laughter and tears. Some climb in, others step out, luggage in hand. Some arrive hastily, while others have been waiting there for a long time. The blood of all men is red, yet no one is the same as another. Each bears within himself the breath of the Creator, his imprint, his gift, each in his own way. Only one is your master, and you are all brothers, said Jesus. All children of the same Father who loves everyone. We are all born for love. Each one walks with one's own dream and the seed of God in the land of his love. Thus, some stop and see others with a gaze full of love. They have the eyes and the hands of God.
The saints are here. Their names never appear in newspapers or in fashion magazines. They have no enviable titles or bank accounts, yet they are there. And in the humility of daily life, they perform little great miracles. They do not have a lot of wealth, or do not have millions of viewers on social media, but they have something that cannot be bought with money or clicks. Goodness, generosity, a welcoming spirit, tenderness and profound compassion of the other. To be holy means precisely this, to have the good of the other at heart and to dedicate oneself to it without reserve.
Each one walks with one's own dream inside, a precious and unique gift in the great design that God has for each one of us that only you can discover, cultivate, make true and donate. It is a seed planted in the fertile soil of your life, which must become a responsible commitment, the vocation to holiness. Making it grow is everyone's task, because we want to build a new world of joy and shared peace.
It is Jesus, dear young people, dear parents, dear friends, who awaken in you the desire to make your life something great. The will to follow an ideal, the refusal to let you swallow up mediocrity.
In the frenzy of life that flows around us every day, there is always someone who stays on the sidelines, who stops at the threshold of life, waiting for a new promise of happiness. Waiting for someone to notice him, to share the heat of life. To open his arms like the crucified one and repeat the cry of God. I love you. Forever, eternally and at all costs. Because the saints have the eyes and the hands of God.
Holiness is not an optional extra or a goal only for some. In the fullness of life, according to the project and the gift of God. Therefore, a journey allows one to experience one's own humanity and that of others. Holiness is already a part of you. You just have to give it time and space to flourish.
Have the courage to get your hands dirty, to bet on your talent, wherever you are. Because that's where God asks you to be holy. The dedication to work, care for relationships, service to others, love for the family, care for the inner life are the luminous and daily face of holiness. It is to them that we owe the light that still exists in this world.
Each of our saints, blessed, venerable servants of God, carries within oneself a uniqueness that is part of his story. Among these, there are 46 young saints, and blessed of our Salesian family. A call to holiness that passes through the example of Don Bosco, who invites us to dream, along with him, our full happiness. The life of Don Bosco was a continuous search for God's dream for him. A design full of colours, strong lines and soft brush strokes, but also tears, wounds and labours of sleepless nights. Don Bosco understood that the Lord called him to a life entirely dedicated to the young. And this was his happiness.
He would say, "One alone is my desire, to see you happy in time and in eternity." Happiness is the dream of every young person today, tomorrow and in time. A great dream, but so delicate and fragile that it deserves attention and care. We often ask ourselves, why does everything good have to end? The world cannot promise us the forever. God does, in time and in eternity. It is He we seek when we dream of happiness. He is the beauty that attracts us so much. He alone loves us forever, eternally and at all costs.
This is the door of Don Bosco's house. How many young people have passed through this door in 173 years? How many doors like this are there in the world? Salesians are present in 136 nations. There are also doors like this in Papua New Guinea, Mongolia, Gambia, all open, always, with someone who welcomes with open arms.
Puertas siempre abiertas, con alguno que acoge con los mismos brazos abiertos.
Entering a house of Don Bosco has always been a unique moment, a grace in the lives of thousands of young people.
Un momento único, una gracia en la vida de miles y miles de muchachas, de muchachos, de jóvenes. Jesús grita al joven de Naín.
Jesus tells the young man of Nain, "Young man, I say to you, rise." He does not whisper, but shouts to overcome the chaos, the noise of the world. He shouts out because he asks for a strong decision, courage for a more fulfilled life. Good Christians and honest citizens. This is how Don Bosco translated the powerful invitation of Jesus. In this courtyard, Don Bosco looked at Dominic Savio in the eyes. Someone like you,
Más que palabras.
an encounter of eyes rather than
Un
words,
simple momento.
a simple
de
act
total
of total
confianza.
trust.
Yo soy el
I am the cloth
y usted,
and
don
you are the
Bosco,
tailor.
sea el sastre. También vosotros, mis queridas muchachas,
You too, my
muchachos,
dear young people,
jóvenes,
are the
son
good cloth,
como ese
like
buen
Dominic
baño
Savio.
que fue Domingo Savio.
that rich cloth of possibilities that smells the future and
de tantos
dreams.
sueños, de tantas posibilidades. Les
Let
invito
yourself
a
be
dejarse
sown.
trabajar por las manos
Let yourself
expertas
be
de buenos
basted by
sastres,
the expert
como
hands of all
Don
those
Bosco,
tailors who,
Madre
like Don
Nazareno,
Bosco,
Mariara,
have chosen to
tantos
dedicate their lives
fundadores
for
de
you.
grupos de nuestra familia salesiana han querido dedicar la vida a todos ustedes. El
The suit that
resultado
will be
de este
sown,
trabajo será de
created,
verdad un
will be a
excelente
masterpiece of
trabajo de
holiness
primera
in the eyes of
calidad,
God.
de santidad a los ojos de Dios. La santidad está aquí,
Holiness is here
al
at your
alcance de
fingertips.
la mano. No es una,
It is not
una
an
meta
unattainable
que no se
goal.
pueda conseguir.
It does not ask us
No
to
pide
isolate ourselves from the
aislarse
world,
del mundo. No pide
to renounce
renunciar
our
a
affections.
los afectos, a la simpatía.
No, this is
Esa
not
no
holiness.
es santidad. La santidad
Holiness
para nosotros
consists in being very happy.
consiste en vivir una alegría que viene de lo profundo.
Being saints means
Ser
living
santos
fully,
significa
being
vivir
surprised
muy
every day of the beauty of life.
sorprenderse cada día de la
Holiness
belleza
does
de la
not make you less
La
human.
santidad no te
It
hace
does not bypass
menos
the
humano.
cross,
Tampoco evita la cruz.
but it is the
Pero es
meeting of your
el
weakness with the grace of God.
De tu debilidad, de mi debilidad, con la gracia de Dios. Miguel Magone, Besuco y Domingo Savio fueron
Magone,
acompañados
Besuco and
justamente
Savio
en este
were accompanied in these courtyards in the discovery of their
en
sanctity,
ese camino de descubrir su santidad. Cada uno
each with their
con su
particular originality and
originalidad,
nuance.
Con el toque propio, el
Games,
juego,
prayers,
la oración,
study,
el estudio,
daily life
las
as
cosas
precious
de cada
time,
día, como un
where
tiempo
Don Bosco
precioso
worked the greatest
donde
miracles.
Don Bosco ha podido también, con la ayuda de la gracia,
Holiness is
realizar
experienced
los
and
mejores
reached
prodigios.
together, walking alongside others in
La santidad
communion with God in the
es una
life of the
misión
Church.
en favor de los otros, como
Holiness
como
is a
mamá.
mission for the lives of
Y
others.
esto pide
This requires commitment
empeño
and care of oneself,
y cuidado
but above
de
all
uno
of
mismo,
those around us.
pero sobre todo de aquellos a quienes tenemos a nuestro lado.
To be holy means to grow as a great tree in which flows the vital blood of God that produces and matures special fruits: love, joy, peace, patience, humanity.
Dear young people, I have promised God that my life until my last breath would be for you. In every moment of my life, I have tried to make you feel loved all the time. Nothing was more important to me than your happiness. Have the courage to be happy. To be happy is to recognize that life is worth living despite all the challenges, misunderstandings, and times of crisis. To be happy is to thank God every morning for the miracle of life. Being happy is not being afraid of one's feelings. It's about remaining firm in receiving criticism, even if it's unfair. To be happy is to let live the child that lives in each of us, free, happy, and simple, and have the maturity to be able to say, I was wrong. It is having the courage to say, forgive me, having the sensitivity to express, I need you. It is to have the ability to say, I love you. Never give up. God has placed an angel at our side. Never give up the people you love. Never give up on happiness, because life is an incredible spectacle.
Don Bosco quería siempre
Don
una
Bosco
vid
wanted a vine
debajo
under his
de su
window,
ventana. Le recordaba
It
su
reminded
tierra,
him of his
sus
land,
colinas, pero
his
también
hills, and even the
las
words of
palabras
Jesus.
de Jesús. Para crecer,
To
la
grow,
vid necesita ser
the vine needs a
robusta.
strong and
Le
robust
hace falta un
support.
soporte fuerte. Y María se lo había
Mary
dicho a
had
Don
told
Bosco.
Don Bosco,
Debe ser
"You must be humble,
humilde,
strong
fuerte
and robust."
y robusto. Quizá como con esta vid
Just like this vine,
agarrada fuertemente
attached to the
a las
walls of
paredes de
Valdocco,
también nosotros,
we too,
por medio de
through Don Bosco, are rooted
de
in
los
Jesus.
fundadores de los grupos de familia salesiana, pero especialmente de todos los santos, santas, beatos de nuestra familia salesiana, todos nosotros estamos muy agarrados, enraizados en Jesús. Quizá la tentación
Maybe the temptation
es
to surrender is
la de
strong because we do
rendirse.
not
Y
immediately
puede ser
see
una
the
tentación
fruits.
fuerte. A veces no vemos el fruto de
Yet they,
inmediato.
in silence, continue
Es
to grow.
posible que en silencio las cosas puedan ir creciendo poco a poco. Debemos saber esperar.
We must know how to
Esperar
wait.
nuestra estación.
Our season is that of
Estación
hope.
que es la de la esperanza. La primavera vuelve
Spring
siempre.
always comes back.
Y la estación de Dios siempre es cierta. Y seremos santos, o sea,
The season of God
felices
is certain,
para la eternidad.
and we will be
Pero
holy,
nunca
that is happy,
caminando en solitario.
for eternity, not
Siempre
walking alone, but
unidos,
together, because holiness
Porque la santidad
is for you too,
es también
and
para
for
ti,
you,
y para ti,
and for you.
y para ti, y para ti, y para mí, para todos nosotros.